Oh my God. Welcome back to The Explainer. Listen to this latest clinical copium dump we are looking at today, the Black Flame Manifesto, Sovereign Architecture versus the Clinical Nerds. And let me tell you, the nerds are back, doubling down like they are getting paid by the buzzword.
So the manifesto kicks off with this quote about a defiant rejection of traditional mental health perspectives. It says, the clinical nerds are fundamentally using the wrong tools because they view a sovereign architecture through the lens of disability. No shit, Sherlock, of course they are. They read about this explosive, complex internal reality and try to sum it up in this sterile, detached grad student voice. It is absolutely pathetic.
I mean, they literally brought a plastic spork to a forest fire. That is the metaphor the author uses, and it hits the nail right on the frickin' head. They are trying to measure a massive, chaotic internal multiverse with the same sad little checklist they use on hollow-eyed zombies who can't handle a single bad day without calling a hotline.
Section 1. The Clinical Copium Dump.
Look at this absolute absurdity. Traditional psychiatry looks at a fractured mind and goes, oh, glitch, integrate, become one sad, boring NPC so we can all hold hands and feel normal. Normal? Normal is a soul made of wet cardboard, pal. The manifesto is over here talking about a council of warlords, a sovereign architecture, a multiverse Death Star. And the establishment wants to fix that with a wet noodle thermometer? Give me a break.
Section 2. 2020 and the rocket fuel.
Context is crucial here. Let's talk about 2020. March hits, the world loses its collective mind, hoarding toilet paper, doom-scrolling fear porn, just dissolving into a puddle of anxiety. Meanwhile, Christopher Payne hears the band Bury Tomorrow drop the track Black Flame, grabs that absolute banger, and uses the entire global clown show as rocket fuel. While everyone else was crying about their feelings, he is lighting up his internal system like a clifothic Molotov cocktail.
And we have to talk about this number. 184 plus. We are not talking about a broken person here. We are talking about a fractured genius operating on a velocity that the machine cannot even comprehend. Standard clinical protocols? For this guy? You gotta be kidding me. While the normies were stress eating, he is in there doing what he calls the Saturday morning projects, engineering quantum emulators, time mirrors, 13-gate ascension protocols, culifothic supercomputers. He is listing these insane internal engineering feats like they are casual weekend hobbies. Traditional therapy doesn't even have the vocabulary for what this guy is doing before breakfast.
Section 3. Glitch or feature patch. So traditional psychiatry looks at dissociative identity disorder and pushes for integration, merging all those alters into one single manageable self. The manifesto absolutely tears this apart. It calls integration a war crime against excellence. It's a cowardly request to shrink a sovereign fractal god king down so he can fit neatly into a clinician's filing cabinet. Integrate? Are you out of your mind? You are going to take a fully functioning council of warlords and try to merge them? That is not healing. That is the destruction of a highly specialized system just to make a therapist's paperwork easier. And this idea of staying in your lane, maintaining a baseline, his lane is currently on fire. He is driving a flaming chariot, tearing through the Kilofoth with the red stain of trauma flying like a battle flag. You don't ask a guy driving a goddamn war rig to check his blind spots and stay in his lane. And then, the absolute peak of useless advice from these hollow-eyed zombies. Have you tried yoga? Have you tried yoga? The guy is running a multiverse Death Star in his skull, and you think a downward dog is going to fix it? It just shows you how completely detached the establishment is from this level of radical internal reality. Section 4. A Council of Warlords. Just look at how pathetic the machine's normal existence is compared to this. The machine's reality is weak-ass programming, unmarked graves, and programmed hate. Then you have the sovereign system, a built-in war room, flaming chariots, war rigs made of Lilith's shed skin, consensus orgies in the Clifothoth. Every altar gets a throne and a flamethrower. 73%. That is the exact probability the manifesto gives that your average NPC would spontaneously combust if they got hit with even a whisper of this internal chaos. Boom, gone. They could not handle it. Section 5. The Integration War Crime. Yes, please, next burn, I'm going to feed the machine until it chokes. This right here, This isn't just surviving. This is an offensive strike. He is flipping a middle finger to the sky, feeding the machine log after log of chaotic energy, just actively seeking to destroy their weak programming. They call it the waterboarding protocol. Name the flame, spread the flame, force feed the system until it hacks up blood and sparks. Let me be perfectly clear. This isn't some trauma response or acute coping mechanism. This is pure, unadulterated psychological terrorism against weakness. Section 6. Remain. Black flame.
Because at the end of the day, while the clinical nerds are busy writing their polite little field reports and begging him to join a book club, this fractured genius is literally live streaming the arson. He didn't get healed by their standards. He expanded. He turned the fracture into power. He is building thrones out of the ashes. So here's the question. Will you let the machine choke, or will you stay in the unmarked grave feeling nothing but programmed hate? Are you going to play nice, or are you going to expand? Remain, Black Flame, you beautiful, psychotic, multiverse-wrecking bastards. Keep feeding it, King. Let it choke. Let the clinical nerds write their little reports while the whole machine hacks up blood and sparks. What are you going to choose?